What's going on, guys? Bingo here with the Duel Factory for a video talking about the Forbidden and Limited list. Now, it's not going to be focused on what we feel like should be hit to adjust the format. This is more of a fun video talking about a wish list that we just would like to see certain cards, or like what if they happen type of thing. So starting off, we have identified a couple of cards that we just mutually agreed that just have absolutely no reason to be where they're at on the list, and we just didn't want to waste a wish list spot on them, so we'll run through them real quick. So I'll take the first couple, then I'll pass it off. The first one's DAIGUSTO EMERAL. This is just like a no-brainer. It's one of the only ways to recycle monster cards. At 1, it'll be fine. Certain decks really need that resource. Harpy's Feather Duster has been locked away for way too long. Double Iris Magician is just another tool pendulums can use. And then, Joe, you take the next couple.
All right, so we have True King Lithogasm. This is a really good card in True Draco Dinos and whatnot. And there's a lot of strategies that never really got to use it. But I think it'd be completely fine at 1, especially with some of the hits that we've had in previous lists. Avarice is one that the OCG has had for a while. They actually have 3 copies of it now, and I think we should. It's long overdue here, especially with a lot of the decks. I just think it's to a point where the card's honestly been power crept a little bit personally myself. And then we also agreed on all of the dragon. This is
you cut out, man.
What did I cut out at?
So we agreed on the dragon rulers if dark matter's out of the format.
Yeah, if dark matter's out of the format, it can come back, but I still think you have to ease them back into the format. But
yeah, as much as I'd like to say just throw them at 3, see what happens, this is going to be a deck that Yu-Gi-Oh players, it's going to have a fan base, and they're going to try to break it as much as possible, which is fine. And maybe it'll be a tier 2 deck, but at 3, there's the possibility that the deck just is too insane, like something we didn't think about.
I'm just saying, ruler format was my favorite time in Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, I'm 100% down. I'd make it work.
It's a good format. So the next one is Solemn Judgment to 2. It's just a really strong counter trap that I don't see a problem with it being at 2, just to ease it in. And if it does become a problem, they could just correct it. But I don't think it would be.
I don't think it's like a huge problem. I mean, like, you have to play differently with Fear of a Second Judgment, but I mean, I don't think it changes that much.
Yeah. And then moving up to the cards that just should be at 3. Chaos Emperor Dragon, completely fine with its errata. Like, no one's going to play it anyway. Cleefort Scout, the last of the Clee cards on the Forbidden and Limited list, so just has no reason to be at 1 anymore.
Absolutely 0.
And then what's the next one?
You have Ignister. For those of you who was really that you want Draco Pals, because there's a lot of plays that you made like multiple Ignister and Dinoster, but Ignister was just like insane before Master Rule 4. When Master Rule 4 came in, that's when it really lost its potency. Damage Juggler is the next one. I mean, we've had it at 1, it did nothing, especially with a Brilliant Fury. I mean, at 3 it's cute, but like it doesn't do anything, honestly. And then 3 Book of Moon. This card should have been at 3 for the longest time. It would have been insane in Zoo format, but like other than that, every other format that's just been lackluster.
Ever since Master Rule 4, like, not saying people won't experiment with it or it won't have like a breakout event, but like it's never going to be staple.
It's only good going first at that point.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving into like our actual wish list. So what we did is we identified 3 cards that we could each bring to limited, semi-limited, and unlimited status. So we'll just go back and forth and see what happens. So I'll let you lead off with your first pick.
You want to start with limited, or?
Yeah, we'll start with limited and work our way down.
Okay, so my first pick for what I wanted was Heavy Storm. For those of you who played way back in the day, this is one of the original power. Was Storm, Hole, Reborn, and Avarice. People are making the argument they want Harpy's Feather Duster back, and I think honestly you could have Heavy Storm.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about this one. I wouldn't put it back to 1, but like I just see some degeneracy.
I mean, but like at the same time, like the only deck, like it murders back row decks. You have Twin Twister, you have
there's no reason to to keep it off for that. I just feel like destroying your own cards, just like bouncing your own cards, has always been more like that. That's the reason I feel like this card's on the ban list in the first place. But I could be totally wrong. But so that's your first one. My first one is Zodiac Trident. I think this card has no business being locked up. It just like the deck needed to die, so they overkilled it. And I think
did you not live in Zoo format?
I lived in Zoo format, and I absolutely enjoyed it. But
bro,
this is a one card pop. Like, who cares if it's at one? Like, no Broad Bull. Like, what are you gonna do? Pop a Colossus? So crucial,
though. That's a one card interruption. That's Triff math.
Yeah, it's like 6 negates.
No, Triff math's like 20,000 negates. You're right here. Come on.
I don't know. I just think it kind of establishes some sort of play for the Zodiac engine is. It just doesn't exist. The deck has nothing. So
I'm just saying, you have one Trident and 3 Chakanine. It's getting recycled every time.
Oh yeah, it's coming back every time with Tiger Mortar. It'll actually be able to play. See, that's the thing. All right, so that's my first one. What's your second one?
Mine is a personal favorite, because I love playing 60-card decks because they absolutely make no sense. But I think Grass should come back to one, especially with Snow being gone. There's just something about activating a card, milling the top 25 of your deck, and your opponent just can't stop it. It just feels so empowering.
Oh my god, Grass. This card is wild. I mean, I agree. Like, since Snow's banned, I think it should be at 1. But it's just like, you go second, right? And your opponent, like, full combos, activates desires. They got like 12 cards left in their deck, and you're just like, oh, if this resolves, I win the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things though, man. Like, you have to invest everything into it. I think it's multiple, but at 1, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think it could ever come up to multiple, but with Left Arm Offering, I feel like it's a balanced trade-off. Like, you're investing literally everything into it.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, especially now that like Snow's gone, like, there's not a whole lot you can mill off of it.
Yeah, you have to make a specific deck. I mean, you still got like Block Dragon and like other like really weird niche cards, but we'll see. I'd like to see what would happen. So, my second pick is jumping back to 2017 again. Masterpiece.
Such a horrible call.
Why is Masterpiece need to stay locked
No one wants to deal with an undestructible monster.
Yeah, but we got 3 Colossus.
Yeah, but at least Colossus can be like run over, or like, you know, hit with monster effects, or, you know, hit with spell cards like Widow Anchor. But Masterpiece doesn't care about any of that. And it's an interruption. Triff math.
Blue Eyes can run over him, you know? He's like 2950.
Yeah, run him over with Dragonic Diagram face up.
He's immune to spells. You're alright.
I'm just making Monster Trap. Blue Eyes don't run spell cards that blow shit up.
Yeah, you don't know that.
So we know this.
I don't think it would do anything. I think that obviously the deck would play a little differently. They wouldn't play Desires probably, but I don't know. I'd like to see what would happen. So, going to your third one.
Wind Up Carrier Zen Mighty.
Hold on. Did you just say Zen Mighty?
Zen Mighty.
I'm gonna say no to that one.
Why?
I don't like people touching my hand.
What, you don't like Lone Fire Blossom in the extra deck?
It's a sacred place. Like, fuck with everything else, but you can't mess with the cards in my hand.
But, like, it's the Tugboat. I want the Tugboat back. I think it'd be great for windups. Windups would still do nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
but it'd be great because everyone would be like, oh, look at all my wind-up loops where I take your hand.
If that came off the ban list, I'd be so sick of seeing, look at this Magician Shark wind-up combo. Like, no shit. What do you do if you don't open Magician Shark? The deck does nothing.
That's the only combo, just Magician Shark. Now, I'm sure someone's been sitting there in the lab coming up with some bunch of stupid combos that don't even require them in your hand, but they haven't come to the light of service, and we hope that never happens. But I digress.
There's no way, man. I've tried. You can't search Magician outside of like transmodifying Reclusia.
See, now you're doing too much.
I've tried, believe me. All right,
That's pretty fun.
So my number 3 pick goes along with the Dragon Rulers, and that's Spellbook of Judgment to 1.
You're the worst person.
This card at 1, you're not gonna hard open it. You're not even gonna get it to 3 fucking counters. Like it's gonna be an interesting tech options in decks that play Spellbook cards.
It says search my deck for Vanity's Emptiness. No, thank you.
No, it says special summon Vanity's Fiend.
It says search Vanity's Emptiness and put it on the field. I'm not a fan. No, it's not okay.
So you have to play through a Fate Banish, and a 1300 Booty. Like, if you can't do that with a normal summon or impermanence, like what deck are you playing?
I'm not okay with this.
I know you're not. You
can play it going second, and Jowgen wipes the board.
It destroys the board.
Yeah, Jowgen wipes the board.
Well, okay, you wipe a Sky Striker board. Summon Ray.
I'm still not okay with it.
Oh, wait. Jowgen, right. They would just anchor it. Anyway,
yeah, okay.
It wouldn't do anything. It's just a neat card. I think it was insane back in the day, but I think at 1, it's not going to do anything. All right. So moving on to the semi-limited section, I'll let Joe take the next one.
So the next card, shout out to my boy Skip. I think we should have 2 for sure.
You cut out. What was it?
Shout out to my boy Skip, but we need 2 Dragonfly. INZEKTOR Dragonfly, for sure.
So this is one of the formats like I'm least familiar with. Like I know the deck just broke boards for days, but like what would this do?
So yeah, like you could do some insane stuff with INZEKTOR. The problem is now, I honestly and wholeheartedly believe that this deck is just power crept beyond belief. That you could give it to us full power and it would do absolutely nothing. Now, that being granted, I'm sure there'll be random like tops or somewhere like because you have the consistency of having a second Dragonfly that just summoning all these monsters out of your deck.
Yeah,
but it's gonna do nothing.
I feel like the deck swarm capability is pretty nuts, but like I just don't think it's worth playing over other decks. So it'd be cool to have another rogue strategy, but
the biggest part of the deck is Hornet pop everything. Well, everything has built-in protection now, so like Dragonfly Hornet's just like awful.
Yeah. All right, so my first pick to semi-limited, I just put Shrit here. I didn't want to move it to 3 because I don't want to waste a spot, but this card could be at fucking 5 copies per deck, and it makes the same... Like, no one's going to play more than 2.
You're doing too much.
No one's going to play more than 2.
Probably not, but, like, you're still giving, like, that... You give so much open availability. I don't think it does enough to the powering.
I honestly, outside of Jin being legal, I honestly think every Necros card could be at 3, and it would still be a rogue strategy.
Probably, but
all right, what was your second one?
My second one, because I know Bobby, but I think Aether, the Heavenly Monarch, okay it too. I mean, if you look at the deck now, like you give it back 3 Stormforth, but like True Draco is just a better version of your Monarch decks. So, like, I mean, you can give it second Aether and it gives the deck a little more consistency to play on your opponent's turn. But ultimately, it still isn't doing enough, especially since the best card in the deck is still on. Yeah,
outside of, like, the deck just being straight released from the ban list, like Pantheism, Aether, and Stormforth, like, it's just gonna... It'd be okay. It'd be cool. No, I never... ever want to see a Monarch card across from me because I hate that freaking deck, but whatever. I think it would be okay.
Stormforth Erebus me again. See what happens.
Alright, so my next pick is Zodiac Ratpier. So moving cards to 2, there weren't like too many really good options. Like it's a weird number to move a card to, but Rat at 2 in this day and age, I think would be perfectly fine as long as Broad Bull stays banned and like we don't get the full Zoo arsenal back.
Your Link 2 plays become more consistent.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure I'm putting that back to 2. Like it seems harmless, so
yeah, it's like with Chalk and Iron, you know, you get 3 bodies, and if we did have 1 Trident, like, you got some neat Ram like stuff, but I still think it only ends you with a Link 4 with nothing else on board. So I don't think it's the best, but I think it'd be fun to play, and that's kind of the point of the game, right? Is have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so what's your last semi-limited card?
So my last semi-limited, I originally wanted Red Mid. That was way too. So we settled for the next best thing that you search out of Chaos Dragons. I want 2 Dark Arms. OCG has had multiple Dark Arms for the longest time, and I just want to experience it once in my lifetime. Because back when Dark Arm was like big and popular, I had taken a hiatus from the game, so I never got to experience putting multiple dads on the table. I just want to do it one time.
Yeah.
Plus, cards like Fairy Tale Snow are gone, so you can't manipulate the grave as easily now. Unless you open it, cards like Dark Arm are just too slow nowadays, so I don't think it does anything.
Dark Arm's like one of the coolest main deck boss monsters there is. His art's amazing. His effect is really cool. But like you said, he's very... Like, you have to build and play around getting him out because of Snow being gone. So, I don't think it would do anything, but I would definitely play some, like, Dark Armed Invoke deck, because that's, like, the kind of shit I do.
It'd be janky, for sure.
Yeah, but I would have fun with it. So, my last pick was Unicorda 2, because, like I said, there's not really much to move up, because semi-limited's a weird number, and I just think it'd be okay.
See, that's the fanboy talking into you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's okay.
I was between this and Warning, and after we talked, like, Warning is just, like, that's a really scary card in multiples, and I don't want to deal with that.
I'm just saying, I'm not okay. I am not okay with trying to...
Hold on, you cut out. You're not okay with what?
I'm not okay with cards that shut off an entire game mechanic. Just putting that out there.
It doesn't shut off a game mechanic.
It shuts off your extra deck monsters.
It shuts off the effect. It doesn't say you can't special summon them.
You might as well be turning off the mechanic.
Okay. It's 2,300 body. Thunder Dragon Roar beats this card.
Yeah, no one's putting a Roar in attack position.
That's how I took my second L in Rosemont.
Roar is the worst card in the deck. You should feel bad. You should have output it.
I did, and then he boosted it again with Matrix.
Well, that's because you're boozy, alright? Whatever.
Whatever. Alright, so going to the unlimited section, what you got?
Alright, so my first one is my queen. I want 3 constructs. Unfortunately, she ain't gonna do anything. I mean, like, she's a solid engine piece for the strategy. She's always gonna be broken in my mind. Yeah. I just want it. I want to sleeve up my 3 ulti and just feel powerful.
Yeah, if we ever do get a card as powerful as Snow that you want to send off of Shaddoll Fusion, you know, she's always going to be there. So at 1 or at 3, it's almost the same thing. You know, as an engine, you play 1 as the Shaddoll deck, which will never do anything. You'll play more than 1. So I don't see a reason why this card can't be at 3. So my first pick is Maxi to 3. Because the game needs this card. I don't care what anybody says. If you can't play around Maxi, that's your own fault.
I'm perfectly okay with 3 Maxi. I think it's the equalizer.
Yeah,
I really do.
A great equalizer. We got Called by the Grave. We got Ash. We got not playing shit your hand onto the board decks like Goki format. Yeah.
Goki format never happens with 3 Maxi.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it facilitates more interactive gameplay. Obviously, at 1, the card was degenerate as all hell. Because if you open it in Zoo format, you won. So, what was your second pick?
My second pick, which probably 100% should not happen, but I want 3 Diva. Water's my favorite deck. All I heard is 3 Diva mains. I have 7 main deck combos, if counting 1 for 1. Woo! Woo! So many combos.
Yeah, and honestly, I get it's some people would probably be a little bit scared of it, but I don't see a problem with it because it has generic outs. It's got several like staple cards that stop it: Impermanence, Ash, Veiler. Like, it's not like the you summon this card, you win. You know.
No, this is the part where Steven Trifanovsky comes in. Diva's one card Orcus combos loop 2. What up? But hey, you know, whatever.
Diva's an FTK, right?
I mean, it can be.
I'm sure it can be. All right, so my number 2 pick is Brilliant Fusion to 3.
Just
yeah, the card is fine. The only reason it was fine for years, and then Thunder Dragons came out plus Snow, and when you banish Thunder Dragons with Snow, it's pretty good. So, thanks for that, Joe.
Hey, whoa. That was not my idea. I just rolled.
But I honestly think without Fairy Tale Snow in this, it just goes back to doing what it used to do and helping rogue decks be a little bit better. And if you got grass, you gotta have Brilliant Fusion.
Amen.
All right, we're getting down to the last 2 cards. What is your final pick to go to 3?
So my final pick, believe it or not, was Spiral Gear Drone. This was kind of hard for me to think because I was looking at the deck and I wanted to give it something back, but not something that would be like super ridiculous because we can't have 3 because like you just machine dupe it, and like that's where all the shenanigans.
Yeah, that's like as degenerate as it gets.
Yeah, you can't give the deck 3 Spiral Resort back because having 3 searchable Rhoda searched by a Rhoda that makes all your monsters untargetable is already unfair. But like drones, don't get me wrong, like it's an insane card, especially to be at 3 when it puts Super Agent back in your hand. But like the consistency you add to your deck by having those extra 2 copies and just stack your opponent's deck, I think it's just enough to make the deck playable at like 12.5 status.
Yeah, because the deck's is extremely powerful now. It loses to itself more than anything because you have to play so many bricks because your engine is so small now because of the ban list. So
yeah, the deck's all one-ofs.
Nothing pissed me off more than my opponent stacking a hand trap on top of my deck when I was going second. So,
bro, what are you talking about? That's the cheese on top.
I don't want to see that again, but I definitely think the Spiral strategy, this would make it playable. It would make it tier 1.5 to tier 2, and you know, there's nothing wrong with having more of those in the format. So, I agree with that.
I think it'd be cool as fuck.
Then my third and final pick for Unlimited is Upstart Goblin to 3. This card, yeah, I get it's a non-card. Sky Strikers would love it, but like, I just don't see a problem with it as long as you're letting your opponent, or as long as you're cutting your opponent's deck every time they activate it, so they don't soft cheat you.
I'm just saying, my man Hoban has been retired for X amount of years now. It's time to show him respect. Put him back to 3.
Yeah, so this is just one of those cards that I just feel can come back and it'll be all right. All right, guys, so that is the entire list. This was just something more fun. We'll probably do a collaboration since the ban list did get pushed back about, you know, our individual thoughts because I already did mine and I don't think Joe has put one up yet, right?
No, I wanted to wait a little bit closer to it, but now since it's probably not going to be until later in the month, we could probably do something later.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and it'll be a more serious discussion. This was just kind of for fun, like what do we want to do type of thing. So if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you check out the Duel Factory over on his channel, as well as like, comment, and subscribe this video, and check out our other stuff. We do a podcast every Sunday. It's pretty cool.
Okay, bye!
All right, peace out.